Peter, we were hanging out during the game. He said, hey, I know what suite they're in. You can go check them out, say hi. Kyle and I walk over there, and we're sitting there, and I look at Paul, and he looks back at me with this face of excitement. The game wasn't over yet. Still hanging in the balance.
Kay was watching the game. I was on the field already. So when did this happen? Like late in the game?
Late in the game.
It
happened in the third quarter.
Yeah.
This is important because they're white-knuckling this thing. He couldn't have been,
And speaking of white-knuckling, Jack turns around, and he's bleeding through. And I was, oh, what's going on? And Paul was like, I don't know. He said, I'm too excited. That's how intense the game was.
You gotta understand, you walk in the suite, it's Miles Teller, it's John Hamm, it's a very famous football player I don't think we should name. And everybody's having a great time. And it's a great place to be. Rudd is like here, and he's rocking. And Nate's like, I'm gonna go say hi to Rudd. And I said, I don't think you should do that, Nate. I'm not gonna do it. Because he's also like way in on the aisle. You have to go through like 10 people. And Nate's like, oh man, whatever, I'm gonna do it. Nate goes through 10 people watching them, including one of the Avengers, over which Nate spills his entire cocktail all over the gentleman's lap.
He's exaggerating.
Nate, I'm talking about Hawkeye. Let's just say it was Jeremy Renner. He spilled the drink all over him, and he was not pleased. He wanted to put you in the hurt locker.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Was he not happy with you?
But then I looked at him and I was like this.
It was not
You want me to snap this finger, fam?
No.
You know what happened last time? I'm Thanos around here.
Oh, I'll put you back in that Bush League Born movie or whatever. That's what Nate was going to say. I'm telling you, he was not happy.
Snappable. He was like zoned.
Rudd was like, I'm not here for the... Last year I was at the Super Bowl. My team wasn't playing. He was so serious, and he's like, I can't drink, I can't eat, I am so nervous. And at that point, the Chiefs were down, too.
Do you feel like most Chiefs were watching the Super Bowl like that way? It wasn't very loud until the fourth quarter. You sat next to my sister as well, who was like not having any... She didn't care who was around. She doesn't want to glue anywhere. She was just zoned in on the game.
Yeah, and J-Lo and Shakira were great, but like I'm very nervous about the second half. There was a lot of that for the Chiefs.
It's almost like that's the thing. It's like it's not fun. Like it's not fun when it's that close and it's your team because and then when they win, the feeling of just joy. I can't even. Sports. This sounds so.
Come on, Peter. Let's go.
Let me put on my Mike Lupica hat here. Sports. No, seriously.
Are you Tom Rinaldi talking to Chiefs fans?
We pour ourselves into these things, and it's like, what is it? It's grown men being paid to play like this game, and yet you emotionally attach yourself to a team so much, and you go through so many bad experiences. The Chiefs fans have had so many bad playoff losses. Then to just like see it that you finally win, and all of that stress for years and years and years to get to like Rudd and his son, like their entire lives they've dealt with losing.
Their life has changed.
But now they're winners. Like that's cool. Your sister, like. She's a winner.
I sat at the airport yesterday. Like, we got there, we were delayed. We all sort of went our separate ways to get our different food. I sat by myself and just listened to people around me. And I sat next to a very lovely, cute Kansas City couple that lives clearly somewhere in New York. And they were senior citizens. And they're talking to their kids, and they're like, we slept 1 hour. We had so much fun. I'm so exhausted. Like, I'm going to need 6 weeks to recover from this. The guy in the back of me is like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for this thing that I like. He clearly, like, sold his life to be there. And he was talking to his friend. He goes, I would do it again in a heartbeat. You have to do this. He goes, it feels like when you come down here, you're at war for an entire week.
Doesn't it?
And I was like, what a great way to put it. Like, you're at war with your team through the trenches, through the different days and the media events, and just the being in Miami. It's like a war going into this game. It's really exhausting in the best way possible for all of us.
You know, the great myth, though, is that we're set for life now and we're good. Like, next year when the Chiefs are in the playoffs again or in another Super Bowl, there will be a tension that sets in immediately. It was for the Eagles.
Which is also that part of, like, getting to the Super Bowl means nothing. You have to win. Like, Rams fans don't have this feeling.
Niners fans
don't have this feeling. Like, you've got to win the chip. And that's what it is.
Speaking of Niners fans, let's bring in Will Selva for an update.
Let's go to Selva.
Will, take it away.
We get it. It was a big win. It was a big win for KC. We know. As Stone Street, Melissa Etheridge, big win for them. Congrats to them. Meanwhile, my 7-year-old was bawling his eyes out on Sunday night. So,
sorry.
Either way.
But hey, Stone Street got that title. Sorry.
Rob Riggle had something go right for him.
Yes, exactly. Well, we'll be hearing from Stone Street, as a matter of fact. But first, though, let's talk about Patrick Mahomes doing what he always wanted to do, win the big game, then go to Disney World. And Mahomes spoke it into existence when he tweeted his desire in 2013. Incredible. Mahomes riding the float and waving to fans, as well as jumping on rides and snapping pics. After winning a Super Bowl, Mahomes drove up his price tag. He's in line for a big payday, but wants to keep the team intact as much as possible. Well, like Mahomes, his head coach, Andy Reid, is also living his best life, and deservedly so, after winning his first Super Bowl. One of the many famous Chiefs fans, actor Eric Stonestreet, as we mentioned, was happy to see Reid finally do it, as he revealed to NFL Network's James Palmer after the game.
Well, I love Coach Reid. We're one of two, kind of the same person when it comes to snacks and things like that. So we love a good meal. We have that in common, but Coach Reid, I mean, I was intimidated when I first was around him, but talking to players and like, no, you're going to love him when you meet him. He's just a guy, and he's just a great leader. He cares about his players, and I'm so happy for him. Everybody loves him. I think everybody was rooting at least for Andy Reid for this game.
Come enjoy it and be a fan.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. World champions, baby!
Of course, Stonestreet famously played Reid's brother on a video that went viral. He was Randy Reid, the owner of a California jet ski business. I feel like he's one of the few famous Chiefs fans that we haven't had on the show. So I feel like his next stop should be on that set.
I ran into him, actually, and he came right up to me and was like, you have a sister that's a Chiefs fan, and he clearly watches our show. Eric, you got to get on and kick it with us one day.
He does this great bit. He's Randy Reid water ski salesman. It's
respect to
incredible.
Stonestreet. I want Randy Reid on the show.
Yeah,
Can we get him?
Let's get Randy. We appreciate you. And James Palmer, great interview there. He will be on the coverage from the parade, which is Wednesday. Our coverage starts at noon Eastern right here on NFL Network. And there are already schools are saying there will be a red snow day. Canceling classes. So all the kiddos can go enjoy and populate that crowd. Mahomes brought home the hardware, but could the MVP have gone to someone else? Could, should, what do you think, Kyle?
I do, yeah. I think his running back should have got it.
How do you find the Hollywood actor to play Jimmy G?
You gotta play himself. That's it.
Real tough one.
Stonestreet finally got a ring.
I'm so happy for Eric Stonestreet.
And residuals for the next 5,000 years for Modern Family. You got it.